Hello, everybody. This is a voiceover recording analysis of a match between myself, Sean Lewis, and Rachel Hall, playing a race to 9 ball at her residence on her 8-foot table. Alternate break, race to 9. BCA rules, CSI rules. Alright, so dry break. 6 is kind of backed by the 5 there on the end rail. It's hard to see. So I'm going to try to play safety here and just leave the cue ball behind the 7. There's a wall that's close to that end rail where I'm at, so there's like a short cue you have to use. I played safe, no rail. I guess it's the 2 ball by the 5. So I'll be looking to draw this myself. Could probably just play safe. Also, kind of shooting the 1 down over by the 2 to get easier access because there's a little bit tricky cueing. Sometimes you can't really create a shot when there's no shot, so you just have to accept the position and figure out a plan. Pool is one of those games where your first instinct is good. However, if you get deeper into the shot, into the situation, and realize that it's not going to work, then you should definitely change your plan. So I'm just playing safe. My goal here is to get ball in hand. So I can run out. So, got ball in hand here. However, the 2 is being blocked by the 5 now because of the result of that shot. So it's actually almost like it worked out. So I'm going to shoot the 1 below the 4 into this corner and then try to draw back and bump the 5 to leave myself a shot on the 2. A little bit touchy. Did okay. Pretty thin hit on the 2 should complete the shot, so trying to stay below the 9 using the 5 to react, so pretty good. Broke it open. Now it's just control the rest of the table here. 7's a little bit tricky, but the 6 is there, so not too much concern. Big pocket table. Bump the 9 over. Closer to the corner, which is helpful for later. I just got to kind of control the middle of the table, get a good line on the 6 so that I can get fairly straight on the 7. Sorry, we're having a little bit of a conversation here. Play some high left here. Come up for the 6. Came a little bit too far here, so I'm just going to go leave myself a longer shot. Oh, I just want to cross. So I just got to bear down and make this ball. It's going to touch the point, but it's not going to scratch. I think I just have to roll the ball. If I was to draw it, I'm pretty sure it would scratch. So. And just make the 1 or the 9, and then that's it. It scores 1-0. Pretty good opportunity here. If I can avoid the 3 ball, everything's wide open. I think I just got to use a little bit of right English here. I don't know that I'm going to try to go 2 rails below and around the 3. But mainly with these Fargo matches, I think it's just working on my stroke, working on my visualization, trying to have a pure stroke. Though there was a pathway. High ball, touch of inside, just come back to the middle of the table. Touch of inside there to check it, to make it go straight back. Stable has a slight roll, so I'm not trying to just slow roll any ball. Now here I'm going to make sure to bump the 8 on purpose and create some separation. So these types of shots I try to do a pretty good job of predicting where the balls are going to go. And that dictates the speed, because you are attempting to get position for the 8. You don't want it to be too crazy, so it makes sense to try to visualize and predict the outcome. There's a little nip draw there. If I just did power stroke draw, it would have probably scratched in the side. All right, scores 2-0. Pretty good break. 2 balls and a shot. Everything's wide open. Excuse me. 4 balls and a shot. Probably would have been time to hit that a little bit softer. No reason to go so far. Probably just adrenaline from making that many balls. Play a jump shot here. It's tough to kick the ball when it's in the middle of the table and control anything, and there's not too much to hide behind, so I think that going aggressive here and trying to pocket the ball with the jump is the right play for me. Foul. There's a good opportunity there. Just missed with ball in hand and got hooked if it made it. Just gotta come to the match with this mentality that you can be successful and that it doesn't matter who the other person is, you will get your opportunities. It's virtually guaranteed. And I think that some people, when they play against better players, then they don't realize that they're going to have those opportunities, and then when they do get them, they squander them thinking that it's not going to happen. So here I'd probably get the bridge if I was leaning over. There's a lot of body movement here. Scratched. All right, scores 3-0. Thin shot on the 1. I'm going to try to cut it in. If I was going to play safe, I might thin it and try to thin it towards the 6, and then you go 2 rails back towards the 2 ball and use the 4, 5, and 6 as blockers. Ideally getting behind the 2, like rail to the side rail to the end rail, by hitting it a little bit more wide. That risks selling out the 1 a little bit more. You just make the 1. If you got an angle, you can go forward. Try to break the balls out. If not, I was trying to go forward and break the 2 out. Just a little bit too much follow stroke on it. It grabbed a little bit too early, so that means I would have needed slightly less top English and a little bit more pace maybe to get a little bit wider off the tangent line before the grab. And I was trying to play carom there. The 2 did not pass the 3. Almost made it. The 3 is very deep in the hole. So it's a little bit tricky to play shape from the 3 to the 5. So I'm going to end up shooting to make the 2 and the 3 in this shot by just hitting it most like 95% full in the 3, and then a little bit over to the left, which is where the gap is at. Let's draw back, maybe punch to the side rail and back up with its touch of left. Depends. Score was 4-0. Pretty good break. One ball and a shot. That's all you can ask for. It's all you want. Rachel's having a little bit of focus issue. Didn't see the 1. I had a reminder. I think that one of the helpful things would be to step into the shot, which is a little bit hampered by the smallness of the room. That would definitely be helpful. Practice thing to get more involved with. Missing shots. You just got to be consistent with your approach, and that if you step into it, at least then you have that consistency. I was trying to play that to the side rail and then to the short side for the 4. Play the 4 under the 6. Just a little bit too much draw. Not sure what the plan was there. I would have probably used a punch and gone forward to get a shot on the 5 in the opposite corner rather than try to draw back over to the line. Doesn't go past the 8 into the corner. I think I'm just going to play this thin as I can and try to cut it in the side. Maybe, yeah, I was also planning to maybe get some fortune on that 6 ball that was in the jaws, and I got that. So it's going to be mostly left English. Cloth is pretty slidey on this table, so it doesn't grab, so you gotta have to be a little bit more careful with your spin, otherwise you can get a little bit out of control. Nice little bump. Play for the 8 on the side. And the 9. Alright, scores 5-0. Made a ball. Shot on the 1. Everything's out there, so this is a good opportunity. Just gotta shoot the 1 down into the corner and then play the cue ball to that side rail and back out. And from there, should be able to just control the center of the table with the cue ball and have a shot on everything. A little bit straight here. Trying to navigate around the table here. I wanted to get straight in on that ball. This high ball. That one, it looked like it might be a scratch shot, so I hit a little bit soft to get less tangent action and a little bit more spin grab. That's why the 7 came a little bit short for the 7. Trying to get straight in on that 8 ball. This should be fine. Alright, score 6-0. See when Rachel put her bridge down there on the initial and then first stroke readjusted. Again, this is where walking into the shot in a straight line would help your cueing, because it's harder to tell especially when you're a little bit newer, that your line is proper. And then if you get down and then you're not right, then you try to steer and adjust your cueing. It's just not consistent. It's going to a little bit of punch draw with a touch of left English. Didn't catch as much as I wanted to. Play super thin here. Cue ball widened out and scratched. I was trying to play up by the chalk and then down to the end rail, and then the 3-ball all the way down. Short side was my shot. So here I'd probably play short side with follow if I'm Rachel, because I don't have a draw stroke that's consistent if I'm her. There you go. And just follow this down. Just hit it too full. That's why the cue ball didn't go far enough. Looks like the 6-ball is going to bump into the 9. The cue ball is going to bump into the 9 when I make the 6 here, so I'm playing that reaction. Pretty good. All right, score's 7-0. A little bit thin on the 1. 4-5 is in line, so it's not too bad, but it might shoot the combo. What I think I'm going to try to do is play, I played the 1 with left spin to try to bump the 4. Bump that out, and then from there, pretty simple out. 4-5 to the 6 is tricky. Alright, so I should play the 1 rail position for the 4 and the side. One rail back. My goal is to actually bump the 7. Just so that I'm not behind it. That's actually the ideal path. Now I can just use follow or punch. Came up a little bit short. There's a little bit of a roll on that side of the table, keeping it closer to the corner pocket. So I'm coming off that end rail and back up. Sometimes the ball will not go as far as you'd like. Should have took a second look at that ball before I shot it. It was a little bit thin. I certainly think I could have made it. Came up short. I think at some point, got to start actually playing for your next shot a little bit more intelligently. Plan for it. Otherwise, you'll just keep putting yourself in difficult situations that are unnecessary. Made it, but ended up with this shot. Pretty tough. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Leaving me the bank in the side. Trying to visualize the path of the cue ball and the object ball. So I'm kind of like looking to see how the nine's going to enter the hole. Trying to lock that in, connect to that shot, and then hold it while I go to this side of the table and shoot the shot. Got it. All right, score's 8-0. Pretty good break, even though I used a different position. Like Rachel breaks really well on this table. I think that getting down first and then aiming is not the way I do it, and it just leads to a little bit more confusion over time. I think it's a little bit more practical to plan your shot before you get down on the ball. I was trying to hit that thin enough to make it and then break those balls out. Gotta kick at this ball. Two 9 is pretty straight into the corner. Got a hit, which I'm happy about. Some reason she overlooked the 9 ball combo here, but this is like basically like the easiest position possible to make it is where you're at right here. So I'm not sure what that's all about. I certainly would have shot it. It was down on that side of it to where it was like the correct action. Alright, so I'm up against the wood. Play this combo. Playing with the short cue. like can't make it here, then you kick at it. I think that you can hit it head on. Pretty thin hit. Trying to play 3 rails underneath and kick it out, but I caught the point and still hit it, so that was fortunate. Made it and scratched. Pretty simple next 4 balls. So leave a little bit of an angle on the 5. Too much there. My stroke's a little bit jerky, so I gotta think about that. Again, I'm trying to smooth my stroke out and hit every ball with a more precise stroke. Pretty fortunate to make that ball. Big pockets. I'll play this 3 rails for the 9 in the corner. 7 in the side rail, in rail, side rail. Maybe the side rail on the way back, if there's enough speed. All right, and then the last 9. Thank you for watching, everyone. Appreciate you. Have a great one.